So, hello sir, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
For anyone watching who was born at a reasonable date in the year, you'll not know this man. This is Dave Bedford, former world record holder, 1973, 27:30. Welcome back, because it doesn't seem like a year ago that we were here.
No, you're my son.
I am your son, yes, so which makes this...
And I always start interviews with a word for my sponsors, right?
Right.
Okay. And I used to train on this track, and had this sofa been here then, I would have used it on many occasions. But enough about me. How can I help you today?
Well, last year we were on the deck chairs here. It was freezing cold. It was raining, horizontal rain. Amazing performances. So I hope you like the upgrade this year. The budget's increased, so we've been able to.
It's almost club class, isn't it?
All right. Well, thank you. Oh, I'll take that as personal. So let's talk about the event, okay? So this time last year, it was crazy weather. Let's have a little recap, okay? We thought it was going to be an absolute washout. Joe Pavey came down and has almost restarted her career because of this event.
Yeah, well, she needed a qualifying time. She needed a low-key event which would give her a chance. She came here. It was anything other than a low-key event in the end. The conditions weren't great, but it was that run here that had the selectors saying, "You're ready for the Commonwealth Games and you're ready for the European Championships." And you know, apart from a decent run and a medal in the Commonwealth Games, the gold medal at the Europeans was just absolutely astounding. And couldn't have happened to a nicer person. So this event will be in her mind forever.
And it's you know, she was already sort of a semi-legend before that, and now she's as a 41-year-old, 42-year-old, she is now inspiring so many other women in the sport in a much bigger way than necessarily the club runners and the young kids.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, you've got to be a bit older than 42, 43 to be really seen as a legend. I mean, if you take me an example, every year old, seriously, I've got a tear coming out my eyes, so I get emotional.
It is an emotional time.
I get emotional talking about myself. But no, I think the older you get, the easier it is to be viewed as a legend. And there's even people tonight I've been signing autographs for who've never heard of me and walked away saying, "Mum, who the hell is that old geezer?" Yeah.
Oh, that's. And what were the mums like?
7 out of 10 and 6 out of 10.
Wow, it's a lucky thing.
I don't. You know, it's not a hobby of mine anymore. It
No.
used to be a hobby, but no, it was nice to be polite to them.
In the men's race, we had Andy Vernon, Chris Thompson last year, and Chris Thompson just coming off of the marathon, but still came down and represented. Andy Vernon, wow, what a season that he had.
Well, he had a wonderful season with a silver and a bronze in the Europeans, but I think really reignited him. The strength that he got from that performance at the Europeans really meant that he's moved forward. He ran 27:45 just over a week ago, and that's a great performance. Most people who saw him do it said that there's another 15-20 seconds there, and I imagine that the people in UK athletics will be seriously wondering whether he should have been on funding after all.
That's a very, very good point. Maybe with a bit more funding, he could have had a few Twitter lessons and everything else. Okay, what do you make of that as an older generation? As anything else? Any advice on that, or is that just a bit of horseplay?
Well, I think, okay, if you've got dirty washing, okay, don't hang it out in public, right? Okay, I think the lesson there is, and especially when you're able to respond to things without thinking, there's always a danger. I don't think it did either him or Mo any favours in the end. But you know, it got people talking, and you know, at the end of the day, Mo came back with an incredible indoor 2-mile world record. So it obviously got him at it. Andy Vernon run 27:45. You know, where's the damage?
That's very, very, very true. So that was last year's race, okay, and you know, it was almost like, you know, the initial christening of the event, because I mean we had it the year before, but Ben Potchy, who organises everything, has stepped it up again this year. This is just absolutely fantastic. With the right weather, it's starting to really achieve it.
Well, and that's the biggest difference. I remember saying to him last year, because it was a pig of a night, I mean, the beer was so cold it was almost impossible to drink. It was really, I don't know what it was like for the athletes, but it was a really difficult evening. And I said to him afterwards, this event deserves some good weather. Now this is not bad, right? Okay, it's been a nice warm day. A lot of people spectating. People who are out for early evening walks are stopping and watching. There must be 500-600 people here watching, and I think that that's all very positive. Bit of a wind. Okay, bit of a wind, it's not easy for them, but
the crowd in lane 3 is surely going to help later on once they're here. So that will even itself out.
The pub on the back straight, it's a great idea.
Oh, you've come across there, have you?
Well, I just did, right? Okay, it's sponsored by the people who support me. But the real interesting thing, when I say support, just keep me going during the winter. But I'm glad that pub is not open the whole time when I used to train here, because the sessions would have gone on an awful long time, and I'm in the running sessions and the drinking sessions. So it's good that it's not there all the time.
I mean, this is probably going to be one of the first races in the world where you're actually running through the bar. And as you say, okay, maybe if this was 30 years ago, 40 years ago when you were running, maybe you wouldn't be able to make it out the other side.
I'd be very surprised if I had, but it would have been a lot more fun.
But you'd have still never bought a round, though. I mean, that's probably you were quick enough to probably avoid that.
Well, that is a rumour. It's not quite true, right? Okay, you just resent it, okay, because you're worried about me wasting your inheritance.
That's true. It's very true. It's very true. So tonight we've got some great races. We've had a few sort of injuries coming into it, okay, but I think we've got a couple of cracking races. The women's race, which is coming up very, very shortly. Ali Dixon, Rona Auckland. This is the championships. Susan Partridge.
Yeah, it's going to be competitive. I don't think there's any point calling races beforehand, but I know that it would be a competitive race, and we should see a great finish to that race. I'm not going to call it, but it'll be a great race.
Okay, the men's, we've got Johnny Mellor, we've got a load of guys that are coming down for it. Sadly, Andy Vernon's still out in the States, and Chris Thompson's just coming back from an injury. But, again, we're talking about these guys as superstars. This event last year helped create them, so we'll hopefully be seeing someone new.
And the runners here tonight will recognise that. They'll have never seen more interest in a domestic 10,000 metres before. Good conditions, and it starts to get a bit dusky, and the floodlights come on. There'll be a wonderful atmosphere. I think we're in for a good night.
And finally, where can this event go? Okay, we've seen an increase. What words of advice are you going to be talking about with Ben? Still not too much funding as well. Ben does a lot of this. We've had a bit of help from the London Marathon this year, and any help is gratefully received. With a bit of sponsorship coming in, where could this event really go, in your opinion?
Well, I think actually that all Ben's got to do is more of the same. Right? Okay, this event is getting traction. It's getting interest. It's got championship status. There's selectors down here, and I think slowly but surely that word would go around that if you want to be selected for teams at the major summer games, you need to be competing here. So I think in time it will sort itself out.
So Bedford, thank you very much. If we want to get an interview with you later on, where should we find you?
Well, my manager is. Oh no, you're my manager. My manager will be in the beer tent, which is always a good place to find him, and I won't be too far away from him.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, London Pride.